Yes, greetings and the best of salutations. I'm just sitting here uh, receiving a gift from a good brother, Brother Bilal Muhammad. Very thoughtful, because I conclude that a thoughtful person is an intelligent person, and that which we uh, should use is that which is required upon us, required for us to use, that is our intelligence. Learned that from Brother Warren Dean Muhammad, where you should make no excuses, not to use our intelligence. And may we continue to do our best to strengthen our intellect and development of our intellect for the betterment of humanity. I before I get into what the gift that was given to me, because we know that the gift is just a present, and that means we're living in the presence that is a gift. I wrote in a book that I have written, Overcoming Being Mentally Enslaved, Encaged, and Enraged, a Personal Quest, Finding Resolve into Complete Civility. Chapter 7, How Can I Change My Reality in Spite of? Because perception is not, reality is on its way to reality. That which we perceive wind up becoming, our perception wind up becoming, or that which we perceive and the perception thereof wind up becoming our reality, and that could be given to you by a conjecturer, a master magician. Yes. How do I change? I realize that change is a product of human effort, and that effort must be synthesized unto a useful purpose. How do I change, or what brings about constant change? The first step of change is awareness. As soon as we come out of the womb of darkness, we become aware. How you learn that change is a product of human effort, and the first step toward change is awareness. The effort must be synthesized for a useful purpose. That is to readdress social diversity, moving from a persecuted minority to a privileged majority. When inspiration comes down, one's aspiration goes up. We must move from victim to victory. Building first one's tolerance. There must be capacity training when it talks about change, getting the talents, the skill, and the resources to be able to accomplish the mission. And the mission for me, through common humanity, is the and salvaging the soul of humanity as an attorney general for humanity, salvaging the soul of humanity. So therefore, I must approach this universally when it comes to change. Develop universal tolerance, one, and realize that oneness is stronger than conflict, and unity is stronger than diversity. So, what is required and demanded is that I can personally subscribe to myself the removal of ignorance. Because ignorance is the result of hostility, as if there's nothing else to be learned. Hostility and hostile environment. Indecency, fear, failure, folly, frustration, foolishness, chaos, corruption, and doubt, misgivings. Not only when it comes to how do I change, you have to deal with doubt, an environment that's due to misgivings, doubt one's ability. When it comes to the nobility and the dignity in which one has been created, ideally, yes. and also hostility when it comes to the environment. So any situation, we're born in a condition, placed in a situation, surrounded by circumstances, consequently due to some previous activity that has taken place. Any situation I find myself in, I can handle it because the ideal person or human that has been created is able to, deal with the with things that that may come his or her way when people misuse and abuse their life on this plane existence with having the wrong attitude about themselves, about life, and about others. So therefore they go about creating, mischief. So any situation, I can handle it. We must think more of be more optimistic rather than pessimist. So we know that a pessimist sees opportunity and they see it as the opportunity is there, but they see it as a difficulty, their perception. And the optimist, when there is a difficulty, he sees it as an opportunity. So it is said and known that we must the first faculty of that must be used is to learn how to reason. Yes. And I say we must reason from the premise of conversation. When we reason from the premise of conversation, we reason with progression because there's two struggles, common sense versus nonsense, and progression versus regression. So, this faculty of humans, an inherent mental or physical power based on ontological, the affirmation, your very being, the being of you. It affirms who I am and what can be accomplished. So it confirms who you are and what you can accomplish. So to have a weak intellect is due to the power of one's inability to reason. And when one is unable to reason, there's a saying by Brother Paul Thompson that a demon is present. So in turn, one's reasoning power is underdeveloped, which makes a person behave in an immature manner. So one must offer mature solutions to immature problems. So what needs to be replenished is the social continuity of one's power to be able to learn how to reason one with another. This gift is a commentary on selected verses of it's called the Holy Quran. Documented from the teachings of Imam Warmth Deen Muhammad, edited by his students. And as I perused through the book, I came across the introduction. Be careful what people introduce you to, Be careful what you accept, because people can make the law. It does not necessarily mean that it's right. So he was talking about in the introduction, it talks about one of the greatest injustices of human history and one of the darkest periods in American history. Millions of people were brutally kidnapped from their native land, transported and sold into chattel slavery. Savagery, ignorance, and oppression. So that led me to this here, if I have enough time to share with you in this wise, from this gift that was that was given to me. Just follow the evidence in the greatest injustice. Okay. People were brutally. That deals with the brutalization class. Of course, that deals with police. Police come from the word polis, which is a Greek term, where is that only the wealthy could vote, and they're associated with the word policy. So the brutalization class. A kid is an animal or a sheep. They took what? They took a nap, kidnap, which means took a nap. One could fall asleep, fall asleep temporarily. So when we deal with a sheep, we deal with his maybe a natural enemy. We could look at a wolf, and then we look at a sheep, is a timid animal, timid animal, but yet at the same time, is associated with timid is one's mind, weak intellect for humans, tend to gaze always, just looking about, staring into nowhere, in the flocks, and even flocks is associated with when you flock together, your associates and your friends, it's like with no real aim and no real purpose, we just dealing with the effects of the greatest injustice in human history. Yes. Savages, ignorance and oppression. Savagery, ignorance and oppression. You romanticize and you about things that which is really an illusion, not dealing with the reality. Then it says that the sheep are almost totally lacking in protection from the predators, and we know that in society and business, we predatory loans, Yes. The wolf said complex, highly intelligent animals who are caring, playful, above all, devoted to family, and only a select few and other species exhibit the traits so closely. A wolf attacks a sheep because they would see that sheep as defenseless, unable to protect him or herself. When it comes to one's intellect, one's mind, one's thinking. Timid, Yes. But what is the wolf? Natural enemy. It is the bear. Needless to say, the black bear. So what is this all about? It's about the psychosocial dislocation, a displacement. What is a displacement? It's psychosocial defense mechanism in a person who redirects a negative emotion from its original source to a less threatening source, a less threatening interaction with people or recipient. Displaced emotions is one that is unconsciously redirected from the original nature, I would say, object to a safer or more